I'm just sitting here in this hotel room thinking about this time when, I don't know why y'all want me to tell stories anyway, but here we go. Thinking about this time when me and this fella, we was out in a Mini, and we decided to go ride the Milwaukee Road over to Seattle. So we get out to the Milwaukee Road yard there eventually after 3 or 4 days. Get over by the old Sears building there. And we figured we'd go up like First Avenue up there and go to a bar when we got there. Yeah, we get in and so we go to this bar. And there was an old fella there that he started talking to us. He was a lit up drunk, but he was kind of like I guess like a well-to-do drunk. You know, he had well spoken and such. And we get talking and get friendly. We're drinking, and he asked us if we needed a job. And he didn't look like no weirdo or nothing. I said, "What's the job?" He goes, "Well, I got this hedge that needs trimming." And yeah, I go, yeah, maybe we could trim, but we ain't got no place to live, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to stick around. I said, "How long gonna take to trim your hedge?" You go, "Oh, just a few days." And he goes, "Yeah, and you can stay at my house while you trim the hedge." He goes, "I'm going over to my girlfriend's for a few days." Or maybe he lived over there most of the time. This is a long time ago. He was in his 60s. He come out, he was like I think he might have still been, but he was like an old university professor. So he drives us over to the high-end part of town up there. This big old fancy house surrounded by this big old hedge. This hedge was, at least 12 foot tall. And it went around the whole property. And it was thick. It was a big old thing. I don't even remember it, but, it seemed like he had about a half an acre there, and this hedge went around the whole thing. So he take us in the house, and he goes, "Oh, yeah, there's lots of food here, and, there's booze over in his liquor cabinet and stuff." Yeah, we said, "Yeah, this look all right. We just stay here, and we'll trim your hedge." And he says, "Yeah, I'll be back in a few days, So we ate some food and then got pretty tight that night. Next morning we was pretty hungover, but we was also serious about doing the job. So we go out there, and he had left us these hand hedge trimmers. They look like, y'all probably know, but they look like big old scissors and such. And so we look up at this hedge, and he didn't tell us how much to cut off the hedge, and we didn't know. But that hedge looked way too big, so we said, "Oh, we'll just cut it like, about 5 foot tall, like, so we don't have to get up there." So me and this other boy, we started cutting into this hedge right about 5 foot level, about where your chin is. And we get it, we make this big old hole in the hedge, and halfway through we get in there, and there's a tree inside. We didn't understand when the hedge is that big, the main thing of the thing is like a tree, and there wasn't just one. There was a tree every couple of feet, like a trunk, like big, like 5-6 inches across, and then you'd need a saw cut that thing down. So we made this big old hole in the middle of this guy's hedge, and then we went, "Uh-oh." But it was a little over to the side where you didn't see so much on the side of the house. We went, "Oops." So we figured, we're going to have to get on the top of this hedge somehow to start, maybe just cut the top, trim it off the top a little bit, not cut it in half. So we go in his garage out there and find these ladders. And, this was like some sort of slapstick comedy, man. put the ladder up in the hedge and crawl up in there, and the whole ladder fall into the hedge, and we fall down the ladder, and we was like drinking at the same time, and Jesus, man. We got up there and started, getting a little bit of hang of it, cutting the top part of it. We didn't get very far the first day. I don't even think we cut 5 foot of hedge. But the next day we kind of, we was seriously drinking this whole time, and so we was like, the next day we was gone, man. We trimmed all kinds of hedge. And anyway, we thought we couldn't see what we was doing too good. We thought, shit, we need to go across the street and look at. I'm gonna shut this window. It's like noisy out there. We thought we need to go look at our handiwork. So we go across the street. I mean, I don't know what the people in this neighborhood. Here's 2 old bums with hedge trimmers looking like something the cat drug in. And we kind of like eyeing our hedge over there like we looking at some artwork. And I'm going to tell you, that's what it looked like, too. It looked like that hedge looked like someone's idea of the ocean. It was not even, I can tell you that. And we went, uh-oh. Anyway, then the guy come over, man, that day. And we thought, ooh, boy, now we're going to get fired and everything. And we've been working here a couple of days, and he ain't even going to pay us. But this boy come over, the car come down the street. 1 minute's on one end of the street, next minute on there. He get out, and he was lit up, boy. He looked at that hedge, he goes, very nice. We look at each other, go, ooh. So then he just would come to check on us, and brought us some more booze. And we was there for 2 weeks trimming this damn hedge, man. Took us, and then he got a little bit bummed, because, he didn't think it should take so long. I said, man, look at the size of this hedge, all we got is these little hand trimmers. You do it if you want to do it. Oh, no, he didn't want to do that. So eventually we got done. I'm going to tell you, we made a hack job of this hedge. Even me, I felt bad about it, but, it wasn't nothing to do, You need to be like a professional with them big old electric things to make this hedge look like something. Or we made it look like something. Anyway, that guy, he come over, he gave us $250. And this is 40-something years ago, that was a chunk of change. Well, our original plan before we met this boy was we was going to, get a Union Pacific down in Oregon or something, or maybe, or go down to California or something like that. That was our plan. And he gave us his money. He thought, I mean, we're going to buy ourselves like a truck, an old van that we can sleep in. Both of us was a little bit tired of riding trains and living that rough. And so in them days, you could buy yourself an old panel van or a car for like $50. But I think we got this I think it was an old Dodge, late 40s Dodge panel van. And I think we paid $75 for it. And we were going to drive down to L.A., which is about 700-800 miles. And we filled the thing up with beer and food, and yeah. I don't believe we didn't get out of Oregon before we run out of money. We was partying a little bit on the way down and stuff. But we were determined to get down there, and this van was still running by some miracle. So, yeah, we'd go into neighborhoods, and this is not so nice, but, this is just the way it was. We'd go in and siphon gas out of people's tanks. But first of all, we didn't never take too much out of one tank, and back in them days, gas was only 20-something cents a gallon. That ain't very much, But we didn't have no money, so I'm going to tell you, you get real good at siphoning gas after the first few mouthfuls. Somehow, we siphon gas all the way down to Los Angeles. We get down there. And we ended up in this town called Glendale, which is ultra conservative. It was a horrible place, and kind of rich too. And I don't know how we got in there. We ended up. They used to have these restaurants. Maybe they still do, called Bob's Big Boy, kind of like a hamburger place, a little bit nicer, you know. And our car broke down just on the outside of this parking lot there. So we was kind of sleeping in the car at night there, and then hanging around in the parking lot during the day. And, you know, sure enough, someone called the police, and they come, you know, knocking on the van one morning. Said, you got two choices: you get in the van and get out of here, or we're gonna take you to jail. Both of us had already seen the inside of them jails before, so we said, "Oh, we don't." We said we're gonna move, but we don't got no. The van, what it broke down was it didn't have no more brakes. They said, we don't care if you got brakes, you get out of here. So I think the handbrake worked a little bit, and you could put it in first gear and go real slow, but you still couldn't stop. And this was a big old 40s panel van. So the older boy, he goes, I'm going to sit on the hood and yell and be like warning people to get out of the way. And Glendale a little bit up, so the road down into L.A. was just a real long boulevard that was straight but kind of slanted down, so it was all downhill. But you got to remember, even back in them days, there was lots of traffic down there, and we could not stop to go through intersections. We just had to barrel on through, so he's sitting on the hood of this thing like a big old scarecrow, you know, waving at people to get out of the way, and we'd be banging on the horn, and he'd be yelling. And miraculously, you know, we go down there. We made it through some of the intersections. And then we get to this one place where there's a crosswalk, and this old lady, like in her 80s, like just stepped right out in front of us. Well, we was not quite there yet. And this boy, he jump off the thing, ran ahead of the van. He picked her up like a baby and deposited her back on the side of the street where she started from, and then come run back and jumped on the van again. And I never saw such a confused look. That lady didn't. She thought maybe like a flying saucer had picked her up. See this thing coming by. In this van, I got to describe a little bit to you. You know, it was, yeah, like, you know, it had those big old fenders on the front and a big old hood, and had pots and pans dangling from the outside. It really was not, and, you know, it was painted with house paint. Yeah. So anyway, we barreling through intersections, can't stop, you know, cars swerving and screeching, and eventually we come and there's all this traffic in front of us, and we're gonna hit them. So I just went off the road onto the sidewalk and ran it right into a telephone pole. It didn't hurt the car or the telephone pole much, but that boy, he go flying off that thing. Woo-wee. But he just landed on the grass. So then we was down there with this truck, no brakes, and it smacked up against the telephone pole. And we said, oh man, we better get out of here now, because they're going to come and take us to jail, because neither one of us had even a driver's license that was worth the paper it was written on. So we just got our stuff out of that thing. And we said, man, we got to get over to the coast over there where we can we can catch a train up towards Santa Barbara, and maybe get back up north somewhere, get out of there, because, you know, we was feeling the heat. So we hitchhiked from there, and some gal, amazingly enough, picked us up, and we got over towards the coast there. And we finally got a train up through Ventura, from the old jungle up in Ventura, where the Ventura River is there. We stopped there, and then made it up to Santa Barbara, and ooh, it was nice up there, you know. You could live there. I've already talked about that place before, but we got back up there and proceeded to, like, relax a little bit, you know what I'm saying. And now I can't remember why I started this story. I thought there was a plot, but I don't think there was a plot. It's just about that and this and this and that. So you all said you wanted stories. There you go. It was just another day in the life of a bum. It's just like stuff happened like this. I guess that's what happened when you on the road. Just you put yourself out there and things happen to you. That's the way it is. We see you. Bye.